Well, hello, I'm Iman Ansari and you're watching Trends. In this particular program, we'll be talking about technicals and looking at the weekly graphs of the Karachi Stock Exchange 100 Index. Along with that, the most highly liquid scripts that have been also traded at the Karachi Stock Exchange. We'll be looking at that in more detail, but with further ado, let's have a look at how the Karachi Stock Exchange 100 Index performed this week. Alright, let's have a look at the Karachi Stock Exchange 100 Index graph. In the beginning of this week, on the 29th of March 2007, we did see that the market was making its weekly low at 11,221 points. Also, you could clearly see volumes were very much on a depressing note as well. And then from the beginning of this week, there were very much uncertainties in the market where action would be taken against those violating the Section 3B. What is the Section 3B? It was according to the March 2005 crisis that was in the air between the SECP and the National Assembly, and from that time, and we did see that some positive statements came out from the SECP, which then drove the market on a positive momentum, and then also pushing more volumes also coming in, where you can clearly see the market then finally going up, making its intra-week high at 11,655 points. As you can see, volumes on the green bar also being increasing on all these times, and it was mainly because of the experts and the analysts saying that because of uncertainties being cleared in the market, it does give it a positive bull run. And then we did see some major support coming in from the EMP sector and the banking sector. So now let's have a look at how the EMP sector performed. Okay, looking at OGDC, what a zigzag week it has been for OGDC. As you can clearly see, the script has also outperformed the market at times and also underperformed the market. The weekly low for OGDC was 117 rupees and 55 paise actually, and then also volumes also climbing up according with the whole bull run that the market had made this last week. But let's look at the beginning of this week on the 29th of March 2007. As you can clearly see, 117 rupees and 60 paise was the week low from last week, and then from there we did see that volumes also very much on a lower pace, but then that stock price coming up on a higher note. Resistance was shown at 118 rupees, as you can clearly see at these two levels at this time, and then from there we did see that it broke actually on Thursday at 118 rupees and 85 paise was the point when the index when OGDC broke that barrier and then entered the 119 region, with also volume supporting this whole momentum for OGDC. So what a week it has been for the whole OGDC, along with that the EMP sector. But speaking of that, let's now have a look at how POL performed. Looking at POL, also a very much zigzag element coming in from there as well, just like in OGDC, the giant of the Karachi Stock Exchange 100 Index. Looking at the week, we actually from the beginning of this week on the 29th of March 2007, 319 rupees and 60 paise was the close price for POL. From there we did see 320 rupees and 65 paise coming in on Friday. Volumes very much on the lower side, but when from the market on Tuesday, when the market also rose up, 323 was another week high at that particular point, with good volumes coming up. From there, this whole week has been also good buying season, and also slight profit taking coming in at 319 rupees and 75 paise on Wednesday. But from there, that very much bull run coming in, along with the along with the volumes that you could clearly see, making its weekly high at 324 rupees and 70 paise. So it was really OGDC and POL, both of them performing very well, giving in some good gains along with the volumes. Now let's have a last look at the last script in the EMP sector, and that's PPL. Comparing it from the OGDC and POL, PPL has a comparatively better week with slightly slow momentum coming in from the beginning also, but then it was really in the end when we thought that CPUL then made its high at 255 rupees and 25 paise. But looking at the beginning of this week also, same momentum coming in from this particular script as well, one of the most liquid scripts in the EMP sector. As you can clearly see, 243 rupees was the weekly low for PPL, low volumes coming in, but again from the beginning of this week the PPL also then started picking up its pace. given a good momentum and good volumes, and you clearly see over this particular level 355 rupees 255 rupees right now is the support level for PPL. And talking about the fundamentals of PPL also, we do know that 97% of the production comes in from gas, and nearly 3 to 4% of the oil production coming in from PPL. So mainly it's because of good anticipation and also good forecast is being done for the oil, for the gas. That's from there we can see that PPL earnings can also be anticipated on a good note, and that's why we did see some good buying coming in. There's particularly some very much lower levels at this particular point at 244 rupees. Well, that's all we had coming in from the EMP sector, but now let's shift away from that and let's have a look at how the banking sector has performed, starting off with National Bank of Pakistan. Alright, the banks in this particular whole week has also had a similar momentum just like the EMP sector, but if you talk about, let's go more back and looking at the whole banking sector for this whole month has not been so successful because the whole major banking sector was undergoing spot. So low volumes coming in, very low volumes from especially from National Bank of Pakistan. This was the time when also the spot rates were also finishing up, and as you can clearly see, the rates were also trying to adjust itself. But 220 rupees and 20 pesos was the weekly low made since the beginning of this week in April, and from there the volumes also then slightly picking up, as you can clearly see when the market also picked up its positive momentum and the bull run continue, and you could see volumes also coming in from the whole National Bank of Pakistan. 244 rupees and 15 pesos was the weekly high made, also good volume supporting it. 243 and 55 pesos was the day before that, as you can clearly see support given in from 244 rupees, but it's been but more and more analysts are on the technical ground saying that it's a good buy because the values that this banking script is available right now is not a throwaway price. It is at a throwaway price actually. And while we are on the banking sector and talking about National Bank of Pakistan, let's have a look at the biggest Bancha Group company coming in is MCB Bank. Looking at MCB Bank, what a zigzag element coming in from this particular script, but right in the end we did see that MCB Bank also, along with the market trend, pulled up its pace, got the good volumes it needed, and then shot itself right up. 279 rupees was the weekly low high actually made for MCB Bank. Talking about the low, 268 rupees and 10 pesos was the weekly low with very much depressed volumes, because this was also one of the scripts that was also going through X bonus and X dividend, and it had to adjust itself. So with that we did see that some low volumes coming in from there, but then slowly as the market picked up its pace, we did see that it also picked up its momentum along with the volumes it needed for that bull run coming in, and good buying levels coming in as the volumes also shot up right from after 270 rupees and 10 pesos when the dip was made on Wednesday. From there we did see some good more buying coming in, and that was the whole banking sector. And we talked about MCB Bank. Now let's shift away from that and let's have a look at a PSO, how that performed. Looking at that last graph, and we did see PSO's performance, and right in the end we did see some profit taking coming in on the back of the news where Utter Group was finally disqualified, as you can clearly see, after making that weekly high of 363 rupees and 70 pesos. In the end we did see 360 rupees and 65 pesos was the closing level on this Friday for PSO. Well, this brings us to the end of our program. Hope you liked trends as much as I did, and you must have enjoyed looking at the graphs also. But if you have any questions or queries according to anything you want to ask, please do email us trends@businessplus.tv. Till then, do take care of yourself and keep watching Business Plus.